is Jeanette Long. Jeanette lives in Zanesville, Ohio, where she now has a private law practice. She earned a degree in government from Notre Dame University and has worked at the U.S. General Accounting Office in 1989. Jeanette helped establish the Washington, D.C. office of Ducks Unlimited, Incorporated, where she helped coordinate George H.W. Bush's first major environmental policy speech. In 1996, she graduated from Ohio State with her Juris Doctorate and joined the Guernsey County Court of Common Pleas as a magistrate judge and mediator, where she sat on the bench for 10 years. Jeanette and her husband Gary have 5 children.
Great, thanks so much for being here tonight. I can summarize that introduction in one sentence. I'm a pro-life, pro-gun, conservative mother of 5, and that's what I believe we need in Washington right now. Somebody who understands the key issues. As I said, I'm pro-life. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I graduated from Notre Dame with an infant and a 1-year-old. My husband and I have done 3 special needs adoptions. I live pro-life 24/7, and that's why I've been endorsed by Family First. When you talk about gun issues, I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I opened the Washington office of Ducks Unlimited, and I represented your Second Amendment rights to bear arms in front of the United States Supreme Court in their most important individual right case on the Second Amendment in U.S. history. So I don't talk pro-gun, I live it. But you and I both know that the #1 issue when you're sitting around your kitchen table is jobs and the economy. We have got to have representation that understands we need less government, less taxes, less regulation, and certainly a lot less uncertainty. Legislation like cap and trade, like the healthcare legislation that's going to result in $570 billion in higher taxes and 16,000 new IRS agents is not what you or I or our families need. And we need somebody who understands that this district has unique abilities to add jobs and add to the economy. We've got the intersection of 70 and 77. We're able to add distribution, manufacturing, and other jobs if we have leadership that's moving in the right direction. All of the counties in the 18th, all 16 of them have unique opportunities with the right leadership to get the job done. You've heard about the Constitution here tonight, and the candidates here will tell you they believe in the Constitution. But again, I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I was on the bench for 10 years. I was never once reversed on appeal because I knew my job was to interpret the laws, not write them from the bench. I represented the United States Bill of Rights Foundation in front of the United States Supreme Court, and I've spoken at different Tea Party events on the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the 14th Amendment. So those issues are all issues that you can count on me to stand firm on when I represent you in Congress. I'd encourage you to pick up my literature because I'm asking you to join my team and help make Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House. And you'll notice on the bottom of the list, I'm sorry.
I'm about the former representative of California.
There we go. But if you look on the bottom of my list, there's a postcard, and you can give me what you'd like me to say when I join the United States House of Representatives, what you'd like me to tell the former speaker. You can put it on the postcard and mail it back to me, and I'll be sure to tell her that. Thanks.
I'd like to briefly go over the rules again for those of you who weren't here when we started. Questions have been submitted on the Ohio 18 website. We have a few of those, and also by people in the room. If you have a question you want to ask and you did not get a 3x5 card, raise your hand and somebody will give you a card. All I need is your name. I don't need the question. You're going to answer the question. Ask the question. When I call your name, stand up. Somebody is going to come to you with a microphone. You're going to be able to answer or ask your question. You're going to have 30 seconds to ask the question. We don't want statements. We want questions. So please, let's not have any speeches. When you ask a question, you can ask a yes or no question. And the candidates have to answer yes or no. They have 3 minutes to explain their answer. You're going to have 2 options. You can ask one candidate one question with a follow-up to that same candidate. Or you can ask all the candidates one question with no follow-up. When you came in, you went past the table. When you leave, we want you to fill out a straw poll. They're on the table, and if you don't have one, you can get one at the break. This straw poll allows you to rank who you individually would choose as first, second, third, your first, second, third pick as the candidate for this office. And I want to read the instructions to you, because if you don't follow the instructions, your ballot's going to get thrown out. Okay. We want you to rank the 3 top candidates based on what you heard this evening. Write a number 1 beside the candidate you most likely vote for, a number 2 beside the second most likely, and a 3 beside the third most likely. We don't want X's, we need numbers. At the end of the day, at the end of the meeting, you'll fill this out and they'll be collected at the table on the way out. Also,
Warren, people are having a hard time here.
okay. Also, this event costs approximately $1,500 to put on. This is all grassroots donations that come out of this. We do not take money from anybody else. It's all from our organizations. So we'd appreciate any donations that you might be able to give us at the end of the event. Thank you. First question is from Charles Hookress. Charles, can you stand up?
Just to break the rules.
I wanted to thank you all for having an open forum. I think the existing congressman we have has ducked every opportunity for this in Ross County. My question is to Jeanette Mall. I have to tell you, when I first saw you, I was immediately in love with the fact that you were an adoptive parent, but I thought, another attorney? Tell us why we need another attorney in Congress.
Well, first of all, I'll say, because you shouldn't categorize anybody, because then you're going to make some misconstrued assumptions. But when you're looking at this panel right here, I'm the only one who's sitting here who's worked for the United States Congress. I worked for what was then the General Accounting Office. It's now called the General Accountability Office, although I'll argue with you that nobody's doing that in D.C. But I tracked legislation coming out of 8 congressional committees, and I left there to be a legislative analyst for Ducks Unlimited. And after I graduated from law school, I did legislative analysis for the Ohio Commonplace Judges Association, and that was after putting together the advanced legislation class for Ohio State's law school. So my career has been based on understanding, comprehending, analyzing legislation. So I'm asking you to go to Congress to do a job that I'm ready day one to do for you. With all the problems that we have going on in our nation right now, we can't afford to elect a representative who has a learning curve. We've got to get somebody there who has the experience and the knowledge to go in there day one and start representing you, who shares your values, and is going to be able to get the legislation that's on the table stopped, repealed, and move the nation back to its constitutional foundation.